I guess in a way your design is never finished because everybody is different when you take them up on stage.
So I have to design.
Hi, and welcome to the Creative Geek, where makers of toys, games and playful technology can develop their craft by understanding play. Here, I focus on you, the semi-professional maker that not only consume but also create geek culture. If you are a self-defining geek passionate about creating, this is the place for you. An important part of creativity is to be inspired not only by your field, but also from outside of it. In this video, I'm interviewing Arkadia, professional magician, and I look at how he designs audience and the audience activity. This is something that is directly relevant for games and play design as well. If you, like me, find the broadening of creative knowledge interesting, click on the subscribe button, and together we'll learn more about making play happen. I try to publish a video every week.
So there is this design author or design researcher, Schön, that talks about reflection in action and reflection after action.
Okay, yeah.
So his idea is that he looks at how design works as from an academic perspective.
Okay.
And he says that designers, in his case, but I would call you a designer in this case.
Sure.
Designers either do reflection during the process, or they take the process and then they sit down and think about the process, and that's when they so the evolution happens either kind of during as you are making something or afterwards. Are you doing one or the other, or is it a combination?
I'm doing both. I'm working with people, so I do work both. I
guess in a way your design is never finished because everybody is different when you take them up on stage.
So I have to design. So there's two pieces here. One piece is to actually make perhaps a bunch of gimmicks. This book should look like a book, but it's not a book, or whatever, you know. So that's like a creative process, and creating that piece, which is usually a evolution during a trial and error thing. But you have an idea, and but then you have like the instant thing happening on stage where you design the piece of theater, because what I do is interactive.
Yeah.
When I've done a trick, like my egg bag, I don't know how many hundreds of times I've done that, 1,000 times, I'm not sure. I have a hard time figuring out what could happen in that trick that I haven't experienced.
Yeah.
So in that case, I don't design. When I can do that while sleeping. Of course, things happen. I have to be there to make it, but it's a routine that I know. When I do something new, I don't know what they're going to do. If I give them this thing and I would like you to look at any page in this book, I don't know what they're going to do. I know what they're supposed to do and I know what they should do, but since I'm a magician, they perhaps decide to turn it over and do
suddenly there's something there that shouldn't.
Exactly. So I don't know. So it's like, at that point, I have to read their body language. I have to see what they do. I have to read and look and place, and sometimes there's angles and all that kind of stuff. So I have to thinking on my feet all the time.
And that's also why you say the trick gets better over time.
Exactly.
So there's this kind of embodied knowledge or your tacit knowledge of the situation. So you learn more and more of how it tricks. Yes, you do the trick and thereby you learn how the trick works.
Yeah, exactly. You can't learn it on any other way, I think. And if you think about it, it's actually two pieces. So you have two designs. You have like one design that is the working of the trick, the bit that people say, oh, I know that trick, which means that they know if it's a mirror or whatever. But that's not the trick really, because there's another design, and that design is actually the interaction that happens. So if she says, I ask her, do you like this or this? And she says, yes. I have a follow-up on that. If she says no, I have to get the story to that position anyway. And how do I design her response to be part of the story I want to tell? How do I design her or him to make the stage looking beautiful? So if I want them to, I realize that if they are on this side, they have to be on this side so they don't see this. But it would be a more beautiful image on this side. How do I? So there's like two designs, and this is something that, of course, nobody thinks about unless you work with this, of course. And I find that design very interesting.
And then, in a way, we're back to this designing people that we talked about before.
Yeah.
Because before we've been talking about audience. You can find a link over there. Over there, I think. There.
Okay.
There. So before we talked about audience and designing audience. But this is designing... I mean, they are also audience, but it's the part of the audience that you bring onto the stage. And that is a design process for you as well.
Yeah.
How people work.
Yeah, absolutely. But it doesn't really need to be people. It can also be props. It can be... We have like this... saying with audience participator, since magic is very unique, there's like clown and magic and some other art forms that uses people as props or as participants, and I can have audience as prop, stand here, put on this hat, smile, and that's your job. Or I can have audience as participation.
If people are interested in your work, Arkadia, where can they find you?
You can find me on the internet. So I'm at arkadia.se, Arkadia with a K. You can search on Instagram and Facebook. So if you just search Arkadia, you'll find me there probably. And if you go to my webpage, there's links to all the social media thingamajiggs, YouTube and so on.
There's also a link below. I hope this was inspiring to you, and if you like it, you can check another one. I'm gonna put it's gonna be on your face, I'm sorry. This is where I have a space for it. I'm gonna put a link over here to another one. And do consider subscribing. I'm gonna put a link over here, because I deserve the same in that case. So I hope you like it, and see you around. Bye!